Hello guys, Yasukeh here. So gonna be showing a little game of the build that I've been having just so much success with. Really close to GM, climbing up really quickly. 1 second. This guy's asking for posture advice from the Posture King, but yeah, I gotta not let her get super free stuff. Go back and get some farm. Whenever you trade into somebody with like Conqueror, Lethal Tempo, etc., always want to try to make sure it goes down. Alright, we're chill. We're chill. And then, yeah, I'm just going to spin this way. Get as much distance from Poppy as possible. Yeah, I was also thinking about with a new patch, which I haven't tested on the PBE, because I really don't like testing that kind of stuff. And I'm doing so well in solo queue that I want to be, oh yeah, I want to be maximizing the kind of time that I can have to properly grind. Poppy is there. Yeah, I don't want to get hit by more than one. But yeah, for me, I just want to let this wave kind of come in. And no, I'm still good to go into this. It's a question, if she does hit the E, then I would have died right there. If I don't, then I don't. And I get the slow there, so at this point it's all her. I do have water walking, so it is possible for me to get that distance right there. If I had a little bit more, like, Fury or something, I could do something there. Oh, no. Alright, works for me. See, one thing that happens so often when I'm in games where I need to level up my W level 3. A very common consequence of that is that I'm so used to at level 4. Oh, that's dumb. That was just dumb of me, my bad. So I'm so used to... I'm like trying to explain things. So I'm so used to the muscle memory of leveling up W at level 4. So if I try to make the conscious decision of leveling up W at level 3 to get some kind of gank, some kind of play, it's very situationally something that you would do. My, during the level 3 level up, that is a conscious decision. Whereas I always try to make leveling be an unconscious decision. That it's been added to my sort of autopilot. I would like to go for this. Because that's the thing, is that best way that I would say to kind of understand how your brain works is that your brain, as a way of like understanding the world, is more or less just the way to process new information. Whereas when information stops being new, it starts getting internalized into all of your other thousands of brains that you have. In your hands, in your just kind of like automatic system, that sort of autopilot. When you're throwing a punch, right? Every time you have to think about punch. Wait, my hand goes this way? Like, that doesn't make sense. You gotta do it all without thinking. And then the brain is only used for sort of onboarding new information into that system. And, alright, guy. I didn't have spin right there. And that's also one thing, is that I kind of constantly think about having target champions only up, which I have on a toggle on a mouse button. Then I'll have issues with that. Yone is looking for something, but doesn't really look like there's anything here. Poppy's over there. Her red has just spawned, so that's what I do want to be thinking about. Yeah, she's there, and she won't be able to get much there. So this is a surefire play right here. The question is only just following what Cassiopeia is doing. Cassiopeia tries to come here, that should be fine. One thing about just so many different kind of champions is that they can be very powerful if they have a turret right next to them. But a problem with so many champions is that if they do try to follow you, then they're gonna have, like, massive, massive issues. I messed that up. And I'm just gonna go back mid. That's one of those things that you just always want to try to get as much info as possible. So my goal is to push this wave to punish her going. And if they die, it's 100% on them. Yeah, he flashed, so yeah, they're dead. Didn't think that it was going, but you know. There's a lot of information that I haven't, that there's always information that's publicly available to you. It's just a question of whether or not you actually can get it into... Asshole stuns me there. It's time to get a Tiamat, one sword, be good. Yeah, I need to wait until her E cooldown is down, as in already hit me, and then only at that point do I actually flash away, because I don't want to flash as the Twin Fang is coming after me, because if I do that, then it'll just follow me past my ult. He does have red buff, which is nice. I can stay for this wave. Big reason why you can stay for this stuff is just when you get red, so much out of combat regen. Nice. Dodging that is really important. When you do have red buff, biggest thing you want to be thinking about is optimizing for the out of combat regen. Alright, she flashed. I'll take that trade. I'll lose that on wave, but I will gain her flash, which is really valuable for me. Flash is so much more important for her to exist in this game, whereas if she doesn't have it up, she will have a much rougher time. And in general, one thing that's so big about this kind of new adoption in my build, wait, okay, that flat, it was great until, it was so good what he was doing in that play until he flashed. Okay, he gets that, and then he'll get enough range to get the knockup. Because Poppy used W for no discernible reason. I want to push this wave, and then I want to go here. We really don't need the jungler there. Yep, and I'm chill. Oh no, the slow! Oh, so sad. Yeah, Red Lights is definitely something to fight with. There were definitely ways for me to live right there. It's kind of unfortunate. Ooh, if she doesn't take that turret shot, there's a world. There is a world. There is a realm. Realm of possibility. So he should be safe. Cassiopeia has no mana. Poppy is a notoriously slow Baron taker, and oh, Ezreal got a good play there. Oh, looks like she did get some kind of plants of mana. I should have focused Poppy a little bit more. I was thinking, hey, Cassiopeia's but if she's she's also just not a threat. So that was a little bit of a mistake. Still do end up getting the kill, but there's no reason for me to give up the dragon. And Mountain Dragon is super valuable to have, even though like nobody on our team is really building armor. You're still getting 8, which is just so valuable. As a singular dragon later in the game, Mountain is just the best. Small 8 armor, like it's just functionally another one of these runes. She's trying to do some punky stuff. So, biggest thing that I would think about is what is her game and how do I stop her game. I'll be the one to go to the top wave because I get there a lot faster than this guy. I am really kind of looking for my back, but there's also no objective up and no really hypothetical fight that seems to be happening. So I'm not demanded to do it right now, although I really should. So would have thought that Darius was there to push that wave. Yeah. Make no sense for him not to be. Yeah, take this. Big thing that's like really important of why you want to generally try to back as soon as you can with Hydra is that you want to get it stacked just a lot faster. You want to start stacking it right away, basically. You get stunned. Cassiopeia's Battle Mage. Definitely just something that we're going to have to be thinking about. And take these. Yeah, if I did back earlier, I definitely could have gotten into this fight. Yeah, one big thing to think about with this build, right? So 2 particularly big variations is 1, Hydra into Zeal. Zeal, good attack speed, good crit, which is something that Hydra doesn't have. So it's just a nice, solid item to buy, and you can just sit on it. Next patch, I think you'll be able to sit on it too. It is getting slightly nerfed. The Zeal, losing about 3% attack speed, 3% movement speed. But it's not too terribly worse. It's something to consider. You might actually just be able to straight up go this entire build. Every item in the build that I just happen to be going right now is getting buffed. So it's Hydra, Zeal, Hullbreaker, Infinity Edge, or Infinity Edge, Hullbreaker, depending on how you're wanting to play the game out. Oh. Yeah, now that I have all this gold, I can very solidly kill the... So when you're going against Cassiopeia, you want to be walking in front of her, and then autoing back. If you want to like go back to watch that, that's... Oh. And yeah, that was a mistake. Ezreal should be able to do stuff right there. But yeah, so that way, there is the least time possible for her to ult you, and it's incredibly hard for her to actually get any kind of timing down. Because you can also stagger the timings in which you turn back to her for a split second. Whereas if you're constantly chasing her, as in, like, you are on the side that is away from where she is going, then it will be very easy for her to just kind of get the stun, because you're always facing her. But when you're ahead of her, which you can do if you get a slow... Oh. He does have ult, but yeah, no, guess not. Let me get one of these. Yeah, I'm playing pretty... There's a lot of good plays that I've been doing this game, but it's just kind of 4 free deaths, which are just really not good to give. Especially just shutdowns are so... Like, if we lose this game, it's because I just gave that shutdown to that Jinx. So that's something that I gotta think about is, hey, she has a lot of gold. But, so yeah, in general, the idea of these couple adaptations that I've been making. So I've been going back to Phase Rush. And making the adaptation of Absolute Focus and Water Walking. And the thing about Absolute Focus, yeah, you go there. Me here. The thing about Absolute Focus is you'd be thinking about, hey, Absolute Focus gives you AD when high health, but you're Tryndamere, you want to be low health. But the thing is that when you are in a state of farming, taking turrets in a side lane, etc., all of this time right now, I'm getting an extra 12 AD that is just allowing me to farm everything so much faster. And that's very valuable. It's more than a longsword that I'm getting right now from that rune. And sure, I don't get it when I'm, like, more in combat at the later stages of combat, but that doesn't really matter that much. I'm looking to get one more camp so that I can actually get a back off. Oh no. Oh no. Whoa! It happens. I gotta have to stay away from Darius. A little bit of an awkward spot to be in. It was worth a try, worth a try. Darius is in that lane, and he's the only one who'd be able to do anything. Yeah, especially with an Ocean and the Hydra right here. I have so much regen that, like, I'm already back to my adaptive focus breaking point. And then a big reason why water walking is just so valuable, especially within the context of how you would think about the general curve of this build, is that water walking just makes you auto-win every objective fight. Every fight in the river, you just auto-win. Barons, Heralds, Dragons, etc., you are just going to win them. Free boots, like, it's 25 movement speed. That is just a full boost. And you can get that at level 1, at level 2, whatever. Any kind of fight that's going on there, it's yours. And then you also get what is more or less basically an AD per level, which right now would be 12 AD. Like, that is a lot of extra benefit. And the thing is that, so, with water walking, you're going to want to be putting a lot more emphasis on taking early dragons. And the thing about taking early dragons is that it denies the enemy a win condition of getting Dragon Soul, right? Because if you take the first dragons, then it's 20 minutes of dragon taking for the enemy to get that. I don't want to use my spin right here, just because I don't know where anybody is. If I use spin right there, then they could gang up on me. But yeah, so I want to play just a little bit more chill. Don't actually use abilities to go in, and then just use abilities to go out right there. Because whenever you use spin in lane, in a split, in any kind of thing, you are committing for that until you have the ability to get your next spin. So if you're attacking a champion, right, you can get your next spin pretty quickly. So that means that you're not committing as hard. Whereas if I'm spinning into a turret or spinning on minions, I might not get my spin back up until quite a ways away. Like right there, as an example. Alright, we're good. We're good. Yeah, the best way to get safe from those type of positions is to go aggressive, to go aggro. When you walk forward, you scare the enemy into thinking, hey, you're gonna be able to do a lot. That's fun. I want to get this turret before I consider going for that fight, but I should be looking to see if this fight is something worth going for. I do have a cannon wave, so that's the thing, is that pre-25 minutes, there's a cannon only every third wave, and so that's what you want to be thinking about is, how can I maximize my Hullbreaker cannon minion on a turret? That's really what you want to be thinking about when having Hullbreaker. And yeah, she should die. Yep, it's okay. Didn't explicitly need to use my spin right there, so we're good. Get that little distance right there. It's good to still get the inhib. But after 25 minutes, every wave has inhibs. And the thing with Hullbreaker that you also want to be thinking about is that it really gains a lot of its value at, like, level 12 or so. Because the armor right here that you get from being alone doesn't scale until later on. And it just makes you so much more durable in a split and makes you hard to actually take out. Because you can afford to take a little bit of burst and you're still just gonna be fine. I'm thinking if I just actually go top lane. So I'm just gonna complete this just because I have the gold to do so. And this is just the most efficacious way for me to be spending the gold right now. However, I would like to have been getting Infinity Edge right now. That's the ideal. But Phantom Dancer gives you a lot of splitting power. Makes it hit turret really hard. It's not too bad. It's not too bad of an option. You really just want to be thinking about how do I spend as much gold as possible. Unless it's a time where there are certain times in this kind of spike where you might be getting stuck with a, like say you're building IE right here. You get stuck with a pickaxe and crit cloak and you can't back until 2,000 gold. And then so there could be some times where you back and you legit have 1,800 gold in your pocket and nothing to spend it on. So that is the one timing in which it would be considered to say, hey, I could build a crit cloak right here, but maybe I don't want to. It depends on whether or not you're splitting or fighting. What you think is going to be happening at that point. Yeah, go here. Yeah, thankfully he tanked it. Yeah, now I'm just gonna go split. Yep. Darius is there. He can definitely probably stop me. Don't know how low this is. I'll just go a little bit for the wave. Yeah, since I get the pickaxe now, I can get the BF sword, which is pretty nice. And then, yeah, sure, we don't really need to wait for people. Especially since Talia has ult. Worst comes to worst, she could just ult to take it. Oh yeah, let's go, let's go. I guess I can be the one to tank this. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna be fighting. Okay, yeah, never mind. Darius is just gonna get hit right there. But yeah, so the thing with taking early dragons is that it gives you so much more time to freely split push. One of the worst things that happened in League was Dragon Souls, because the idea of Dragon Souls is to more or less force, hey, there needs to be a 5v5 fight at every 5 minutes at every dragon. They want to incentivize people to just group up and fight. And the viability of doing a lot of different split pushing things is just way lower with those changes. They gotta be careful. They can still do stuff. They still can do stuff with their team. Yone does have ults, but I don't think that's something that he should consider. More or less just the Ezreal poke from range. Do have Dragon coming up, so we aren't actually obligated to do anything right now. Yeah. Because we have Soul. So, right, if Darius wants to... Let's pretend that I am Darius right now. Because the enemy of Darius, because our team has 3 dragons, Darius can't even think about split pushing during that dragon. Whereas if Darius's team had 3 dragons, then he would be able to split easily. I'm actually not super confident in being able to get that kill before people show up. So I'll just sit here chilling with the Hullbreaker minion. You always just want to make sure your Hullbreaker is actually working on the minion. That's something that can definitely be an issue. And then when you're rotating from turret to turret, it's always useful to know that the value lasts for 3 extra seconds. So if your team is pushing mid, you're pushing top, you will have a little bit of time for extra stuff. Oh, yeah. Wow, that actually does just hit. Nice, just so tanky. Yeah, I don't even need to ult right there, so that's good. One thing is, when you have a little bit of life steal, it's so easy to actually kind of survive those types of bursts. But yeah, so regardless, Poppy is never going to be able to get a back that will actually be able to do anything to stop me right here. Oh no. Oh no. Attacking those minions right there. But yeah, looking good. Yeah, and so the general idea of this build, apparently Static Shiv is just not super great on the PvE. It's just kind of a generally weak item. So that is something that I'm not super hyped for Shiv at this point anymore, but we'll see if it's actually something that can work out. So that's something to consider. But I am pretty hopeful that I actually won't even have to change my build in the next patch, which is more or less going to be Hydra, maybe Zeal, not sure about that. Hydra, maybe Zeal, into IE/Hullbreaker. Because Hullbreaker is getting buffed by getting extra movement speed, and Infinity Edge is becoming a mythic. And if you see right now, I wasn't building a mythic. Like, avoiding mythics until later in the game. So if Infinity Edge becomes a mythic, I just happen to be building a mythic already. And yeah, that's definitely something to think about. There's so many different options of what the mythic would be on Tryndamere. You could either go Gale Force, Navori, or Infinity Edge. It really just depends on kind of what your playstyle is and what you're looking for. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I'll do some inspection, some investigation to see what the secret sauce is for that next patch. So, see you guys all in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. And good night. Yeet.